Hi everybody, it's Dr. Joanny Liu, and I'm here every Thursday morning at 9:30 a.m. Mountain Time. I'm the founder and a best-selling author of Extraordinary Sports Medicine, where we help athletes reverse their injuries, get back in the game they love, and improve the quality of their lives. And today I'm going to be talking about Mark Hamill. And, you know, for a long time I was wondering whatever happened to him, because I never saw him again. After the Star Wars thing, he seemed to have disappeared off the earth, but through my research I found out that he's been actually very, very busy, and he's been very, very busy on his own terms. You know, so I've got pictures here of him, and here he is in all the various decades of his life, with him right in the middle here as Luke Skywalker, for which he's best known. But the thing is, if you're familiar with Saturday morning cartoons, then you've actually heard him, or his kids have heard him, and become real fans of him. Because Mark Hamill has lived his life on his own terms. After Star Wars, Luke Skywalker became his character, and he, and he became known as Luke Skywalker. He became a teen idol. He was featured in a whole bunch of magazines. He didn't like that because he had already been acting for a number of years, because he started his career as part of the cast of the soap opera General Hospital, and he had already started doing voice acting in such movies as in The Wizard, you know, Ralph Bakski's movie, The Wizard, where he plays Sean. I mean, I was surprised at all this. But, so he's been around for a lot longer and forever. So this year he actually turned 66 years old, and he's still going really strong. He's taking his acting career in all directions, doing everything possible that actors can do. And so he's been in video games where he's acted, you know, with the green screen and with all the sensor polka dots on his face and on his body. It's pretty amazing what he's done. So, hi Carmel. And so he's done some really remarkable work, and I guess he doesn't really enjoy watching Star Wars. He has a real problem with watching himself work, and so he really tried hard to step out of his role as Luke Skywalker. And I guess there was another thing that happened to him that I didn't realize. Apparently he was in a really bad car accident between Return of the Jedi and the very last one. And he apparently, thank you for your hearts, I love you. And apparently he had surgery to repair the damage, and when he appeared in the very last movie of Star Wars, I guess there was a little bit of change, but I didn't really notice. And so he went on, but I have to admit that both he and his co-star, Carrie Fisher, both looked a bit haggard, okay? They both were a bit rough around the edges, and I think success, I don't know whether it was, you know, true at the time. I was thinking that maybe success was a little bit rough on them. It definitely was with Carrie Fisher. But the thing is that, yeah, I think their success had changed them in some way. But it was in the 1980s when I found out that Mark Hamill's injury, about his injury, but the stories that were going around at that time said that he had a really bad accident and his face had been totally ruined and he had to be reconstructed, and that was the reason why movie directors and backers of movies weren't selecting him for film, because he just looked so different from what he used to. And apparently all of that was just lies. because he really was totally healthy and he really didn't look that different. But I think the thing is that he just took his career in his own hands. He took his life in his own hands, and he made decisions, and he did the things that he wanted to do. So he definitely continued with his voice acting, and he did a lot of animated cartoons, I guess he's best known as doing the Joker in various Batman animated series. And I had no idea about that. But maybe my kids did, because they were the ones who were watching Saturday morning cartoons at the time. So it's quite interesting when you think about it. But, the thing is that he didn't want to be typecasted. So that meant that when you're typecast, it means that people look at you in a certain way and they think that you can only do things in a certain way. So if they think that you're only good at romantic roles, then that's all they're going to look at you for. So that really limits your opportunities. It limits the amount of work that you can make. It limits the amount of money that you can make. So he worked really hard to get off the Luke Skywalker thing, and maybe that's the reason why he was kind of under the radar. He did act on stage, and as I said, he did a lot of animated series, and he still continues to do that. He was in TV series, playing guest parts, and I guess he was in the DC World TV series, like The Flash and Superman. He also did other shows, mostly with Batman. And even, I think, with the animated series of Star Wars. So there was a lot of stuff going on. Interesting, isn't it? And so the moral of the story is that you've got to find your own way. You've got to do whatever you can in order to have the life that you want. And he's been successful, even though people haven't really known about his work, but he's in demand because the people who should know about him are definitely knowing him, and they love working with him, obviously. So like I said, he's going to be 66 years old this year. It's amazing. He's managed to make several millions anyways. He's managed to do extremely well anyways, without all the accolades and whatnot. When I saw him in Star Wars, The Force Awakens, in 2015, I kind of thought that he was kind of stilted, but I guess his role was right at the end, and there wasn't really a whole lot going on there, and maybe that's why it was that way, but I'm not totally convinced that he really wants to be involved with Star Wars, but here he is, right? So it's kind of interesting that Carrie Fisher is no longer with us either, and that was her last hurrah, but she will be in the next one, in continuing with the sequel. So I guess they'll have to find a way to take her out of the series eventually. But anyway, it's really great that Mark Hamill has done so well in his life. It proves that you can reinvent yourself if you really want to. And as far as your brain is concerned, we're talking about your sanity. If he was sitting by the phone waiting for the phone to ring, for people to invite him to do roles that they thought he was best at, he'd be completely unhappy. But that doesn't seem to be the case. He seems to have a very long and varied and very self-satisfactory career. So that's the way you've got to look at it, because your brain and your body and the health of your mind, all of that matters much more. So you've got to go your way, okay? So if you happen to know anybody who is suffering from a concussion and post-concussion syndrome, please direct them to Amazon.com and have them pick up my book, How to Heal Your Brain, Heal Your Concussion, How to Quickly and Effectively Get Back in the Game. And so I'll see you next week with another great story. Bye.